So let me take you through the system for the second time. So by this stage, you should have already logged in and gone through the automatic login prompts that you'll need to do when you first sign in. You'll only ever need to go through those prompts once. So this training is assuming that you have already done that. You will literally go to your www.arbonne.com, click on the login screen, enter in your email address or your ID number if you know it, and then sign on in with your password, which will come up on the next screen, and mine is saved in there. Saves a little bit of time. And then it will take you to this screen, which will essentially ask you, where do you want to go? So if you want to buy something, you can go straight to the shop function. If you want to go to the dashboard, which is where I'm going to take you, that's kind of like your home screen, then you literally click on this one. You can go to the source, which there's an amazing training on how to use the source and why it is such an amazing source of all info. There's an awesome section on before and after photos, and then there's a share it. There's a whole social media tool. So I encourage you to go in and have a bit of explore around in each of these functions, but I'm just going to take you through the basics first in the dashboard. So this essentially is your home screen that will give you all the information you need to essentially run your business effectively. So if you ever want to click on the home screen, you can either click on this function just here, which is My Office, which will have either the little Arbonne symbol or your photo, and I'm going to show you how to upload a photo, or you can click on the dashboard link, and that will always take you back to your home screen, where you'll be able to see things like down here will be like your QV totals, your PQV and your success line QV, as well as a breaking news section, which has got any brand new preferred clients or consultants that have joined your team. So to take you through this section first for me, there's a whole bunch of information here, but the main ones you'll really need are in here. So me, my clients, and when you're brand new in the business, you might only have one or two people in here. If you've already launched your business, chances are it'll be empty. So as you build your business and your client base grows, you'll be able to find your clients in here through using keyword searches. So this is a client of mine, Vicky. So if I click on her name, I'll be able to find her ID number, which is necessary in the event she places another order through a group presentation. This is where I'll be able to find both her email address and her ID. So not only consultants have ID, even though it says consultant ID, she's not a consultant, she's a client, but that's her ID there, so I can use that to enter in her as an existing preferred client. And there's a whole other training on entering orders, but this is at least where you know how to find both the email address and the ID number of existing preferred clients of yours, as well as her address. So you can go in and do different keyword searches. It will also show you when she became a preferred client, when her birthday is, her contact details, as well as her last order date. So it's pretty handy to have. The next thing in here is profile. So in your profile, you will have obviously all of your contact details. This is all of mine. In here, there is all my contact information. So this is automatically defaulted. So you've got my mobile number and my email address. You can select your preferred communication method. It's also got my direct deposit. So when Arbonne pay us our monthly commission, they can deposit it into one or more banking accounts. So I've got 100% at this point going into my business account. My intention is, as per my vision board this year, is to deposit 10% into my offset account and 10% into my savings account for a travel fund. So I'll be able to do that as well accordingly. So if you ever change addresses, you can click on edit address. That's where you will go to change your address. If you ever want to change your password, go into this section. This is where you'll go to upload a photo. So you will have been prompted to do this when you first logged in to the Arbonne website. If in the event or when you get a professional headshot taken, like mine, then you can upload that file into here, and that photo will appear at the top of every single page when someone is shopping on your Arbonne website or when you yourself have logged in. As you can see, mine is up here. So that's where you got to upload the photo. My story, this is really important for Google Analytics. If you know anything about SEO or search engine optimization, you can write your story in line with this. So I've put in mine the areas that around where I live that I service, but obviously I service all Melbourne metropolitan areas. And I've put in a little bit about my story, which is kind of like my why. It was an elaborate version of my why that I shared when I first started the business. So I just encourage you don't have to put one in that's as long as mine, but I'd encourage you to have a look at a couple of consultants that you really admire and stalk their Arbonne websites and find out what they put and then put one in that works for you. But I really encourage you to Google search engine optimization, so this section here, just to find out exactly what that is so that when you're writing your story, you're keeping in mind the keyword searches when someone does it in Google. You can change your privacy settings, you can change your security settings, and you can also put a password on your filing cabinet. Now, the only time you'll ever really need to do this is if you've given, say you're an area manager really or above, and you've given your team access to your profile, which you typically wouldn't need to, but there may be circumstances where you might need to have someone in your team entering in orders on your behalf. If you do not want them to see what you are being paid, then you can set a separate password in this section, which means they'll have access to all areas, so all these areas of your profile. They just won't be able to access your pay slips. So that's where you would go to put in a separate password. If you're never going to give access to your site to anyone, then you won't need to set a separate password. In here as well, there is also under here, you'll go to this section called My Contacts. This is a really, really great section because every single person you put into your system, whether they're a client or a prospect or a consultant or a preferred client, all of their details can be sourced by using this keyword search. So again, I'm going to use the same preferred client that I used before. And you will see that she has come up there, so you can search by first name, last name. If there was another person with the surname Limnios, then it would bring up both people and the first name would be different. But you can see here there's a little hyperlink on her surname. If I click on that, this is essentially where I can go in and view her profile. So it says, again, her address. It's got her email address. It's got all of her phone numbers, which for some reason they're not in there. I can also add any notes. So for example, if I am trying to build rapport with this particular person and establish a relationship with them and note down specific things to remember before I call them, then this is a great place to keep store of all of your notes. There's also a very handy tab here called Orders. You can either place a brand new order. So this is an order that you might receive from a particular existing preferred client or client. You can go in here and place an order on their behalf. It will be delivered to their home address. The commission will automatically go to you, and it's really, really easy to do. So that's one way that you can place an order is by going into Me, My Contacts, searching by the particular client, and then going into Orders tab. The other thing you can do is actually look up all their previous orders, and this is really helpful. If, for example, Vicky was to contact me and said, "Oh, Kate, can you please order me another mineral powder?" And I'm like, yep, no worries, totally cannot remember what mineral powder you have. And I don't want to go back to her and say, oh, could you just remind me what colour you had, because I'm all about giving outstanding customer service. As her consultant, I should know. And this is a really easy place for me to go and find where her last orders are and check them to see what colour her mineral powder was, if in the event she bought that, or a liquid foundation or an eyeshadow colour or whatever it was. So I can go in here and know that she's placed 2 orders recently, one in March and one in February. And I know that the February was the bigger order, so I can literally then go into a separate section, which I'll show you. It'd be great if this was hyperlinked, but unfortunately it isn't at the moment. But at least I know when she placed her order, so I can go into a different section of the website and find her actual order and get the colour and then place another order for her. So that's really cool. There's also, activity. I'm not really sure what that actually means, so I've never been there. You might, I don't know what else. I actually don't know what goes in there. There's also a section for additional information. So again, if you were to put in any additional information about her, for example, if she was a prospect of mine, then I would have, I have the opportunity to put all that information in here, and any other alternative information, for example, a passport name. Again, I've never used these fields. The main ones I use are orders and general. And the one thing that you cannot change for any client or preferred client is the email address. If a client wants to change their email address, you'll need to call head office and ask them to change it on your client's behalf. That's the one field that we cannot change. So we'll just go back to the dashboard view. So that's essentially Me, My Contacts, and then Filing Cabinet. So this is where where Arbonne store all of your pay slips or your commission slips. So you can see I've got a few in there, but you literally, they're usually published on or around the 10th business day or just a bit before the 10th business day of every month for the previous month. So you can download all of these and keep them for your taxation records. And you can also check and cross-reference to make sure if you were querying anything that you'd been paid, there's a full listing in here about what you were paid for your personal commissions on the sales that you've made to your clients and preferred clients. And also if you have a district, an area, a region or a nation, there are also breakdowns by each of those leadership levels as well, which is really cool. So under my team, there's a couple of different options here. Team incentives, this is really for if you're really at the leadership level of district manager or above and you have people, gorgeous people in your success line that have said yes to you or said yes to someone who has said yes to you, you can go in here and see what they're eligible for. So that's really great to track. You can also keep a track of how everybody in your success line is going for both promotion and bonus boosters. There is an amazing handy tool in here about your top achievers. So it lists your top 10, 25 or 50 achievers in your team by PQV, by central district, by top personal sponsoring for clients and consultants over 150 QV, central area, central district, central region. It really breaks it down. So that's a handy report to have. This one I'll come back to as well. This is a really good reporting tool to have. But in here for orders, where I mentioned before about Vicky, if I wanted to work out what colour her liquid foundation was, for example, then you can go in here and you can actually search by commissions not processed. So that is for the month that we're currently operating in, that we haven't been paid on yet. Or you can go back through any of your previous months. So for example, let's just go to February 2017. You can search for your own personal orders, or depending on the level you're at in the business, you can search for all orders that were in your central district, your area, your region, and so on. So this will make more sense as you progress through your business. So for now though, the main thing that you'll want to be doing is searching for your personal orders. So you can literally just press search on personal, say for February 2017, and it will bring up all of the personal orders that you've had. So it's a really great tool. For example, I can go in and there's Vicky just here. So I can go in and click on the hyperlink and it will actually bring up exactly what she ordered. So I can then find out what was the colour of, for example, the liquid foundation that she ordered, which I remember was neutral beige. That's because I've got a good memory. But I can go in and go, oh, awesome, it was neutral beige, so that's great. You can also click on the commission summary here, which will tell you exactly what you got paid off her order. So that's really helpful to know as well. And you can do that by all orders. So you'll see here, there'll be a little hyperlink to the actual tax invoice for each order. There'll be the QV associated with each order as well as the total paid. And this is an awesome little tracking option here. You can actually click on the little truck and it will tell you the tracking number for FDM in Australia for what each of your clients ordered, so you can actually track where it is. So you can click on this little tracking number, it will open up FDM in Australia, and obviously if you're in a different country there's different suppliers for that. It'll open up the courier company's website and it'll actually tell you where it is. If in doubt, give this number to the courier company and they will tell you exactly where it is. So that's really helpful to know as well. And then back here up at team reports, so we're at the start of the month. So you'll be able to see collectively what my region's QV is at. But this essentially is QV for March, say 2017. You can actually expand this, and I won't just due to privacy for our team members, to actually bring out, once you have a team, you'll actually be able to track and see each person in your team, which is really cool. So that's a really handy to be able to have, and you'll be able to also click here on business details, and that will show the business details historically. So you'll be able to see, how you've been tracking month by month, or you can use this drop down option here. Now your view might look a little bit different than mine, just purely based on the level I'm at in the business, but there's a couple of really handy reports in here that I encourage you to go and have a look at, especially once you've started your business. And the main one you'll see is this one, which is preferred client, renewals and rewards. So in this particular report, you'll be able to find all of your preferred clients who have a preferred client credit and or free shipping that is currently on their account, and you can filter it by month. So for example, when it eventually loads, I'll show you a quick snapshot of everybody whose rewards, for example, are expiring at the end of this month. And I'm actually able to sort of scroll through and have a little bit of a look at everybody. So you'll be able to see essentially who your personal preferred clients, and if you have a gorgeous team that you're partnering with, you'll be able to see all of their preferred clients and then be able to help them remember to go and contact, for example, Adele Baker, who has free shipping that expires at the end of this month, and encourage Adele's consultant, if it's not one of your direct preferred clients, to contact them. And there's a whole section on training about preferred clients in our preferred client care follow-up section, so you can have a look at that as well. But this is essentially where you find who has what credit and when does it expire. So that's under my team reports, and then the little view option here is preferred client renewals and rewards. Couple other sections, my events. So my events, this is where you register for all Arbonne conferences, so you can click on in here. So GTC, our Global Training Conference in Vegas, is coming up in a couple of weeks. You can register for that once registration's open here. The Arbonne incentive trip when it comes up. There's a whole bunch of other corporate events that are in here that you can register for. And this is also where you place your group presentations. So you'll see a couple that I have open at the moment. And you will be able to create new events. The one thing I will absolutely encourage you always to do when you're creating a group presentation is make sure you future date. Just ignore this one because unfortunately the party was postponed and I cannot close it or cancel it or move it. It's just stuck in my system, so just ignore that one because it's not a very good example of what I'm about to share. But I would always future date your group presentations in the system, because if you do not use the host rewards within 10 days, so if there's a little 10 in red next to any of these events, then your host rewards will expire and you will not be able to claim them or use them. So even if you're doing a group presentation or party or an event on, say, the 21st of March 2017, I would actually date that presentation a little bit more in the future so that you've got a couple of days up your sleeves to make sure that you can close that event in plenty of time and not have the host rewards and the free product that we gift to our host when they have 3 orders. You won't miss out on giving that to them. So that's where you can create a new event, and there's a whole separate training on that in the client care section. My trackers, so this is great for all the different incentives that Arbonne have. You can click in here and just see how you're tracking for the Arbonne incentive trip, for your promotion and bonus boosters, all the different incentives that Arbonne run. You can track how you're going in there, which is really awesome. There's also a whole amazing section here on all of the resources that are available to you as a consultant. So if you want to know what the T's and C's are, you can jump in and grab them from here. There is a link to the source that will bring up a new window that I'll click on just to show you what it looks like. So you can see this is where you do all of your keyword searches. You can find so much information, all the information about the Meet the Product sheets, all the information about the business, all our events. That's all in here. And then you can easily get back to my office if you just click on the link. So that's really, really good to know where that is in the event you're thinking, oh my gosh, where was that? It's under My Resources, the source. If you're curious to find out a little bit more about what happens when you reach the VP level in the business, the whole section here is on the Mercedes-Benz cash bonus program. So you can have a look, especially if you're an area manager and you're like, okay, this is the next level for me. You can go in here and have a look and see what all the T's and C's are about the Mercedes-Benz cash bonus program. We've got a whole before and after photos section. So this is really great for social media. Although I really encourage you with this is to use your own photos. They're way more powerful than using somebody else's. But there is a section in here if you're keen to check out the angles and the lighting and the products that they've done before and after photos with. There's also this incredible digital toolkit. Again, this is all for social media so that you can share things onto your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever accounts that you have. So I would encourage you to go in here and have a look at it all, because there's some great flyers, images, all sorts of amazing things in here. And that's the website, digitaltoolkit.arbonneinternational.com, and that's .au because we're in Australia. So you can see all the different things that are in here. There's a media library, marketing resources, before and after photos. Again, really, really cool. And that's opened up a new window, so I'll just close that again. And there's also this amazing brand book. So again, it's opening up a new window. Go into the country that is relevant to you. So for me, it's Australia. And then there's this awesome, when it eventually loads, brand book. I might come back to this because it's taking My internet's having a bit of a conniption, so it's taking a while. I'll come back to that. But it's really, really cool. So go in there and have a bit of a play and have a look around. So that's what's in my agreement. Web stats, you'll never use it. It's for the consultants who were here in the good old days, in the pre-March 2015. So ignore this altogether. Shop. This is essentially where you can buy stuff. So you can shop via the product catalogue, shop via Quick Shop, and that's where you enter in the product codes or the keywords as per the retail price list to purchase products for yourself personally. You can buy all your business aids. Business aids will then be shoved into your normal shopping bag. So they're things like samples, Arbonne produced corporate information like our opportunity flyer and our catalogues. Any products you buy and any business aids you buy will be put into the same shopping bag. What won't be put into the same shopping bag and you'll have to pay separate shipping for is Arbonne branded merchandise. This will bring up a different website, so you can go and visit the boutique, and this is where you can get some really cool Arbonne branded merchandise like hats, bags, magnets, key rings, or promo gear like the awesome tablecloths people have, your business tools, all the banners. There's so much stuff in here, so you can go in and have a bit of a look in the boutique. And that's sent to you separately, so you'll have to pay separate shipping for that. It is not going to be sent to you at the same time as your products and your business aids. And then there's just a little section here on special offers, which really should be under shop, but hey, Arbonne have split it out. And this is where we have our special value packs for us, any limited time offers, and all of our accessories that are produced by Arbonne. The company that do the boutique are actually a separate third party. So Arbonne do produce some accessories ourselves, which is like our water bottle, our protein shaker cup, the Genius Ultra bag, the demo bag, the gold bag, our brush sets, etc., etc. So they're all sort of in there. So that essentially is a quick snapshot of the system. And if you have any questions about it, I really encourage you to connect with your gorgeous business partner. So have fun exploring.